live. And we are live. Good evening and good afternoon from the Netherlands, America.
What's up?
Today, we're going to talk about WandaVision episode number 4. It's called We Interrupt This Program. A quick recap before we dive into the show and we show our pretty faces. In this episode, we get to see the last 3 episodes from quote-unquote our world, starting with Monica Rambeau right after the blip, which shows us it takes place right after Endgame, this series. We get to see how Westview becomes the center of attention with its quote-unquote missing population and the disappearance of Monica Rambeau. We see some old characters come back like Darcy from Thor 1 and 2 and Jimmy Woo from the Ant-Man movies. We get to see what went down between Monica and Wanda, but most of all, who is the missing person in the Witness Protection Program? Da da da! Ciao! So, Gabby, if you would have to give this episode a grade, like a 1 out of 10, what would you give it?
I would probably give it a solid 8, honestly.
I'm doubted between a 7 and a 7.5.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't up. Well, I've seen it now 3 times, so I kind of like get now. I got more questions actually after watching it for the 3rd time. I was a bit slow, but yeah, it was actually a really interesting episode. Just like, once again, it's a recap. So we start off with Monica Rambeau. She returns after the blip, like we see the reverse. What is it? Dust going in the hospital, and everybody is basically like freaking out because
so many people just show up.
they're returning, so there's a lot of panic and chaos. But what I found really sad was that that Monica learns that her mother passed away 3 years ago. Like, she thought that she was still waiting for her mom. That was so sad.
It's heartbreaking.
It was.
And to find out that she died from cancer too. She's like, the doctor said cancer came back. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, it was that was a really sad moment. But what I also really liked was that we saw the blip from this point of view, because in Avengers Endgame we pretty much see all the birdies and a phone is ringing and everything is like very Disney-esque, and then here you basically see that it's chaos. There's so many people returning suddenly. You run into people basically like Monica did in the hospital, which she basically knocked the guy out by just running into him. So I was like, girl, do you have powers already? Right? Oh! Hello, Captain Sarah.
What's up?
We hope you can be here one day, girl.
Yeah. We'd love to have you.
Yeah. Should be fun. So basically the whole intro, was there like something that you were like that stood out to you with her returning?
So I've like listening to the audio when Monica was returning. It was like there were a bunch of lines from the Captain Marvel movie that I heard. I heard Lieutenant Trouble that Carol called Monica when she was a little girl. And I think Maria was saying, I can't leave Monica, or something like that. So you heard Carol, you heard Maria, and so I thought that was interesting that they made that connection.
Yeah, so who says she's really dead? Dun dun dun. And then pretty much the awesome intro starts, and it's always get me so excited. Um, so Monica, she works for Sword, which is created by her mom, which I thought I was pretty interesting to see or to hear, because I didn't know that it was created by her mom.
Yeah.
But it says in particular Maria Photon Rambeau.
Yeah.
And, it's the photon blast from Captain Marvel. So I was like, am I missing something?
Monica herself is also Captain Rambeau.
Yeah, the fact that it was really acknowledged that she was Captain Monica Rambeau, I thought that was pretty cool. I also thought it was very interesting that her pass was not working.
Mm-hmm.
Because then, what's his name? Taylor Hayward?
Hayward.
Yeah, the acting director, who I think is skeptic as fuck. I don't trust him.
There's something off.
There's something
off there.
Completely off with this guy, yes. I mean, if she is the daughter of, and later on in the conversation he says that the mom always knew that she would come back, why was her pass not working to go inside? But once they do go inside, there is like an interesting dialogue going on. It's like an astronaut training program, which I was like, I don't know much about her then, I guess. So maybe it was like a link to Monica Rambeau in the comics. I wouldn't know. But then he said the program has not been the same since you went up there, Rambeau. And I was like, okay. Oh, okay, what happened?
And he also said it's... Oh, sorry.
No, go.
He also said that Sword is more focused on robotics, nanotech, and AI now.
Yes, I totally forgot to write that down. But what I found interesting also was she was like he said observation and response, and she said but not creation, which made me wonder then what was being created there. Are we talking about weapons, or are we talking about mutants, inhumans, maybe like the Terrigen, whatever? Because it takes place in New Jersey, and Miss Marvel is coming up. You got this weird like energy going on over there in Jersey, so
and also I think there's one thing to point out, that the Sword, it's for in the MCU, it stands for Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division, but in the comics it's Sentient World Observation Response Division. So they changed the W to weapon.
Yeah, which probably could be like because Captain Marvel is considered her body as a weapon in general, I guess. And if mutants would be there, or inhumans, there probably would be weapons too.
Yep.
It's really, really interesting, that dialogue alone. But once again, there's just something so off with this Hayward guy, especially the conversation that they have in his office, like, oh, I'm the acting director. How she is grounded because that's what her mother wanted to. Oh God, brain fart. She was not allowed to, for the extraterrestrial stuff. So, but she always knew that she would come back. I thought that was pretty sweet, but and on the other hand, I'm like, could this be like emotional manipulation? Because out of all places, he is sending her to a missing person thing in New Jersey because the FBI wants to test out drones, or their drones, or Sword.
Yeah, it's a little suspicious.
Yeah, it's like, does he know what's going on over there with some sort of like energy level that he just like he didn't really think that Monica would come back, and now here she is. So let's just send her there so we can get rid of her. Or maybe that's too far-fetched. I don't know. We have some comments in the chat. We'll be here as long as internet stays up. Has been shaky due to the 60 miles per hour wind here today. I don't know if that's a strong wind or not.
For a wind gust, it is pretty strong.
Because we have a different measurement. Of course, in Europe, it's only America that's like miles per hour. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, it's for wind gust, it's pretty fast.
Okay, so it's pretty heavy then.
Yeah.
Well,
Robert.
I mean, you weren't really responding, so I wasn't sure if you were going to be here on time because you weren't here really on time the last 2 times, so I wasn't for sure, but we'll talk about it afterwards. Don't worry about it. I will call you on the phone if it goes out again. Right, so it's pretty twister going on in America. Covering my ears, just wanted to say hi. I haven't seen this episode yet. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I hope Keys can join us maybe next week or the week after, at least one of those streams, because he also is pretty knowledgeable. So if you know someone that could join, let me see. So when she arrives in Jersey, of course we have Agent Wu there. And there's another interesting dialogue going on, which I only picked up the third time watching it. And I was like, oh, wait a minute, I missed that the first time. So it starts with, I've got a witness set up down the road in Westview, and this morning it looked like he flew the coop. And then Monica says, your missing person is in the witness protection program. And what's his name again? Wu. Wu. Parts with names. And he says, I have contacted known associates, relatives, and let me guess, maybe I'm messing up right now because I wrote it really fast. And let me guess, none of them has seen him either. And he said, that's what she said. Oh my God, like literally, oh my God. I'm sorry, I'm messing up. But he says something, he says something interesting that says, no, none of them have ever heard of him. So it's like, why do you fly out of Oakland to, like, who is this person, right? If he gets a note that this person suddenly is gone, like it's a missing person and he's in a witness protection program, and no one has heard of him, not even the associates, who could it be that he flies over? I mean, this is the FBI in the end, right?
Yeah.
So my mind went to, like, could it be Ralph?
Mephisto.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. It really could be anyone.
True, because it's in the end it's the FBI, but then Mephisto, you know, he's the devil, so he can just like So since it's related to Agent Wu, I cannot really remember the Ant-Man movie, so now I'm just like, do I have to rewatch the Ant-Man movies? Maybe there was a link there already down the road.
Well, he didn't really have a really big role in the Ant-Man movies. He just was trying to get Scott basically the whole movie.
Yeah, but maybe just like a character in the back that, again, it's just, I mean, that they got you straight by the balls because you don't know what's going on, right? Like, who could it be? But what I found very interesting is because soon after Monica disappears into this energy field because she wants to see where her drone went to, and she goes in there. And then, of course, shit hits the fan. There is, everything with Sword being set up. Darcy comes there. But eventually, you get all these ideas. Not ideas like, oh, I have a tip for you. But I mean, like, identification on the wall. And what I noticed was that there was no real-life idea for Agnes. And Dottie wasn't there. Whereas all the others, they had all figured out who was who.
Yeah.
So
like Mr. and Mrs. Hart, Norm, Herb.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Wanda and Vision.
They all figured out who they were, including the husband of Dottie. They figured out who he was. I'm having a brain fart. It happens. This is bad. Because there was no idea, like real life idea for Agnes. That's what I made the assumption that maybe it is Ralph, the missing person. But what did you want to say?
I think another thing that was, well, it seemed to really confuse them, but the Westview, like the town of Westview, it didn't exist. So
yes.
Then the Wu, he asked the sheriff, where is he from? And the guy said Eastview. So
yes, because Monica, because he's like, I come here from Oakland, and there was another wrinkle as soon as I arrived here because they walk over to the police officers or whatever they are, and they're like, there is no such place as Westview. It does not exist. And Agent Wu then says it's like a missing town.
Yeah.
So everything becomes like there are like 3,000 people living in that Westview town, right? So there are like 3,000 people captured by Wanda in there.
I guess. It's crazy.
It's almost like mutants, right? No, but it really makes me wonder, like, if there's such an energy level going on, because as Darcy, she's like figuring things out, which is also something very skeptic, because Hayward, when they were watching the TV, suddenly she tries to explain what's going on, and he's like, yeah, it's like the Big Bang and blah, 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 blah. It's like, for an acting director, you know.
Yeah.
Hello, Hack. Oh, yeah, if you want to talk Batman. All right. Hello, Perry.
So we find out who the beekeeper was. The guy in the beekeeper.
Yes.
Like Agent Franklin.
Does that ring a bell for you?
I don't know, but whenever I hear the word whenever I hear the name Franklin, I think of Franklin Richards from Fantastic Four. So I don't know.
Made me think, because if Monica was an astronaut and she's been up in space and it hasn't been the same since she left. It made me wonder, like, if there was also like not creation going on. Like, what if mutants were being created in some sort of way, and that this what's his name?
Hayward.
Hayward. Like Hayward maybe is like, because he is like the acting director of sorts suddenly. Like there was no other choice, like, or they had no other choice. Like, what if he made kind of like a deal with the devil in some sort of way? Like, oh, because he was also the one leaving really quickly. He was like, I need to go back to headquarters, which I thought was kind of weird. While everything is happening there, he has to go back to the headquarters.
Yeah, that.
Eh.
I don't know. Guess we'll find out.
So my assumption is that he probably is Hydra or something, because they are known to infiltrate. What I do like was Agent Wu on the whiteboard. He had all the questions that everyone has been asking since the first 3 episodes. Yeah. The hexagon.
Yeah.
Its Vision still alive?
Oh man. So do you want to talk about what happened between Monica and Wanda? We finally get to see
Yes. Yes. Because that was...
She's downright scary.
She's evil. She's evil. You know, just her face. I mean, first of all, she's an amazing actress. She really is making Scarlet Witch her character, like Hugh Jackman made Wolverine his character, and Tony Stark made Iron Man his character. But what made me also wonder is, because I mentioned it in our previous episode, was that, you know, you see the energy field around her when she is back in our reality, so to say. But with the blast of Wanda and her literally flying through that energy field, what if that awoken some sort of power inside of her, and from now on we are going to see whoever she is supposed to be? Because I know that she is a different character than Captain Marvel, but, but I don't know the name.
Is it? I really thought her name was Photon, though, in the comics.
Oh, so she will just do a tribute to her mom then in the series.
Yeah, I mean, she's supposed to be in Captain Marvel too, right?
I believe so. I mean, yeah, probably. Maybe, you know, Brie Larson will just she will just become Captain Marvel in the end, anyways.
Yeah.
But was there anything that stood up for you during that moment between the standoff of Wanda and I want to say Wanda and Scarlet Witch, but it's the same person, Wanda and Monica?
I mean, I just think, well, her powers, they look kind of different when she was like getting ready to send her out. I mean, like you were saying, there's always like an energy field like around her when she's using her abilities, but this time it was just like with her hands, and like after she sent her Monica out, she like immediately realized what she did, and she fixed the walls so that everything was just fine. But then after that, she turned around. Well, actually, she was looking at her babies first, and then Vision comes in, like in the last episode. But when she turns around, Vision looks exactly how he did after Thanos pulled the Mind Stone out of his forehead. So that part like really freaked her out.
And it should be. It just, I think the fact that Monica mentioned Ultron kind of snapped her back into the real reality and made her realize that, Vision is dead. So probably, I swear, she's probably going to do something with Quicksilver, that he's going to come back Pietro. She cannot handle the death, right?
Yeah.
What I'm really curious about is the standoff that will probably happen between Wanda and Vision, because Vision is already thinking too much, even though he's considered dead.
Yeah, he's already skeptical about this whole thing. Like ever since the first episode, he's been like questioning her like almost every episode, pretty much. So, and then he keeps asking the neighbors like, what's so weird about this whole thing?
Yeah, and also that he says like, we don't have to stay here, Wanda. We can go somewhere else. And she's like, no, this is our home now. I have everything under control. Like that sneaky little witch.
Which also like kind of goes towards our theory that she actually is controlling this whole like reality with her powers. So,
which is also pretty interesting because it's something very powerful, and it just goes to show. I mean, if it is really all Wanda doing this, because that's what Monica says at the end. It's all Wanda. It just goes to show how powerful Wanda already is, and how scary she can be once, they're gonna take the babies away from her.
Oh gosh.
Because that will happen. For sure. But yeah. I really like the fact that, they're doing it so smart, right? Because they leave you guessing, because especially with this episode, you're into it, and then suddenly the end credits, you're like, God damn it, I just...
Yeah.
But allegedly, there's the last 2 or 3 episodes are supposed to be like an hour long, and so we have like 5 more episodes to go, I believe.
Sweet.
Which is not a lot if you're going to think about the fact that so far every episode has just been like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but if this is going to be a setup for Doctor Strange and the rest of the MCU,
better be good.
Better bring out the big guns already.
Yeah. Like, what are we waiting for?
Exactly. And that's what I really hope with, as much as I love the concept so far, if it's only 8 or 9 episodes, I really hope that now they really start, going faster with the end goal. What is the meaning of the series? Because so far, it's a sitcom. Okay, then yesterday's episode, which to me first felt like a filler episode, because you get to see from their point of view. It's like, and that's it. It ends again with Monica on the ground. Like, it's all Wanda. It's like, okay. Just bring in the 80s.
Just explained all the weird stuff that happened in the first 3 episodes.
Right. And that's why at first I thought, or I felt disappointed with this episode, because it's like, geez, this is just a filler. But after the second and third time, I started picking up on the dialogues. I put everything aside. I was like, okay, let's just focus on the dialogue. Probably some stuff are being hinted at. And then, of course, the dialogue with Monica and Hayward and Agent Wu and Monica. Because Monica was really the star of the show.
Yeah.
She is badass. So, how did you feel about Darcy?
I just think she's hilarious.
I thought she was a bit bitchy, a bit arrogant. Like, oh, it's
Yeah, I'm a doctor now.
yeah.
Doctor.
But also, like, where's my coffee? And when she grabbed the thing, like, oh, I'm all right. And then, can you grab me a television, like an old one, but not a flat one? And then later calling Hayward's people that work under him like goons. I'm like, since when did you become a fucking bitch? And just a little side note, at times I'm really annoyed by the pitch of her voice. It's like very nagging, like it's like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
But the dialogue between her and Agent Wu was hilarious most of the times, especially with the bag of chips. She's like, you want some? He starts talking about like, yeah, I always want a little kid talking about with an iPad. Oh, you mean the chips? That was funny.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I was really surprised that they brought her back from the Thor movies.
Yeah, because they could have brought back the older man since he was already so involved.
Mm-hmm.
And because he already knows all the weird shit, because he was basically on the Loki spell. So
yeah.
You would naturally assume that they would bring him in. But I don't know what happened to him. Or, but I guess for the sake of female empowerment, they had to do it. For the political agenda, let's bring in more female. Let's make her arrogant. Was there anything else that really stood out for you that you were like, I really...
For the most part, not really, because, I mean, like when Darcy was scanning the environment, she said there's a really high level of CMBR, and that stands for cosmic microwave background radiation. So,
and it went back to the Big Bang, right? That entire that was also very interesting, and the wording that Agent Wu had, like, so the universe created a sitcom with 2 Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
also I want to point out that cosmic radiation is a huge part in the Fantastic Four story, because that's the radiation that gave them their powers.
So maybe with Monica Rambeau up in space, and it has been the same, and I thought maybe it has something to do with Fantastic Four, and then you dropping this knowledge. Okay. Dr. Doom is in the house now.
That'd be scary.
Or not. I mean, Wanda is already scary.
Mm-hmm. Especially if she goes all House of M on us.
And yeah, just the way that she was talking and her evil look towards Monica, like, like, you are not invited to my party, bitch. Get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be bad when her hands go like this, because that's how it started with
yeah.
It's not friendly.
Yeah, just like when she killed Ultron, like her hands were like all like that, and
with
she ripped his heart out.
And with Thanos as well, she basically like did this power thing that.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's one of my favorite moments.
Yes, I guess that's when everybody went pretty crazy. It had, I mean, that happened, and then Captain Marvel flies in and she destroys the ship, but it's like, why is she even here?
Wanda could have done that herself.
Well, Senor Hack, we talked about this at the beginning of our episode. Gabby gave it a solid 8, and I give it a 7/7.5.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is worth the watch because you get to see it from the point of view from like our reality rather than within Wanda's reality. So it answers questions that you have seen before, like who's the beekeeper, how the what's the thing called? Not android, drone. Jesus. Oh, that drone landed there. But what was also interesting was that they showed the picture, or the lady showed the picture to Agent Wu and Darcy, like the drone, but it was an older version, like old style. And he was like, why did you colorize it? She said, I didn't. That was also like an interesting thing. Like, how come everything black and white that is colorized? Is it it comes from the outer world? But not really, because the beekeeper was also in black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And it's also interesting why he went through the sewer to get in there.
True, but probably because they think like the energy level is just on top. But then also how the wire thing, it changed color, like red, white, and blue.
Yeah. So many questions.
Still, and I really hope for like the smacks in the face, sooner or later.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whoa! I did not see that coming. But I'm really curious. Like, I think the main question that came out of this is, who is the missing person in the witness protection program?
Mm-hmm.
That is the one thing that I'm like, who? Because we haven't seen him, but we also haven't seen Ralph. Who is Ralph?
Yeah. Does he even exist?
Is he under the ground? The devil's in the detail. Is it hot out there? Well, that's what we are hopefully going to figure out sooner or later. Because so far it's just magic that we know that connects the two, but it's just 4 episodes in. So 4. And the 4th was basically a recap of the last 3 episodes. So still basically just we had small questions answered. And other than that, no one knows.
Yeah. So, but all we know that Doctor Strange is like that movie is directly connected to the series somehow.
Probably near the end when everything goes full on MCU style. Like, we don't know what to expect. Hopefully no more filler-ish episodes, because that will be a disappointing thing. But I wouldn't be surprised, because the same thing happened to Mandalorian. At least that's how I felt about Mandalorian. There were some episodes I'm like, meh. So we'll see. It's in the end, it's Disney, so. Is there hey. I don't ever talk shit about random. It's a shit show. Thanks, Robert.
Thank you. Would you like to see my Scarlet Witch painting?
Oh, bring it on.
All right. Bam.
That is nice. That is really cool. Oh, wait, hold on. I should enlarge your eye. I never learn. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
Woo! I mean, I could never do that, to be honest. It was just it's like mine would look like shit. It's a red blob, but that's pretty cool. How long did it take you?
I would say about 2 hours. Cause like when I paint, like I draw like everything out first and then paint. So
Did you record it?
yes.
So
I
it will be
made
going up on your YouTube?
hyperlapse videos that I've done before. So I'll post that at some point.
You should. Because it's always nice to watch something really fast instead of watching it for 2 hours. I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching someone for 2 hours create something, but
Yeah.
if it takes 2 seconds, it's even better. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Thank you.
So that one is for me?
I mean, if you want it.
I think it's pretty cool. Oh, look. Oh.
Thank you, Hack.
Awesome possum, as Freaky Louie would say.
So,
is there anything else that you want to talk about this episode?
I mean, I didn't have nearly as many notes as last few episodes, but that's pretty much all I got.
Yeah, I didn't have much either. It was just oh snap, a bunch of notes, but not much really.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because it was more of a filler episode rather than. So hopefully next week we go to the 80s, because whenever I see that 80s, or maybe it's a 90s thing, I don't know, but that house, it wouldn't even surprise me if it's a recreation of the Full House house that her twin sisters were in, because the door reminds me of it, the stairs that go up, and
yeah, if
they make an intro of them riding in the car on the bridge, I will freak out, because that's like nostalgia right there, and I think that would also be nice for, I don't know, a nice tribute to her sisters who are probably smoking crack for the last 20 years somewhere under a bridge, or marrying some rich 80-year-old Russian guy.
So is she older or younger than them?
She's younger.
Okay.
The sisters are 1 year older than I am. So one would say, "Oh, so you're old?" Yes.
No.
So I'm pretty much out with this episode. Is there anything coming up on your channel? Are you gonna game soon on Twitch, or what are you gonna do?
Well, I was supposed to stream last night, but I was having some internet issues, so couldn't really do that. So I don't know. I think my next stream will be like probably Monday.
Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do actually. I still have to finish this one manga, and I'm almost there. Almost there. It's Uzumaki. But it's such a thick manga, and I got a lot of things to say about this manga. So I don't know. There's still 4 people in the chat, so I don't know if anyone. We can fill it up for maybe an hour. So I'll just drop a link in the chat if anyone still wants to talk about this episode, like something that stood out for them. Because I won't stay on too long, because I have an early shift tomorrow. So
Me too.
It's almost at 10 p.m. here, so I cannot stay on too long.
Well,
Yeah.
it's not even 4 o'clock here, but still.
Well, I'm not allowed to go out anymore because we have a curfew, which not a lot of people agree with, but it's annoying.
Yeah.
So what are like the expectations, or what is something you hope to see in this series?
I would really love to see Quicksilver, honestly, because they didn't give him like enough time to like develop as a character. Because we just see him for like one movie and that's it. So
True.
if we see Quicksilver again, then I think that would be awesome. I mean,
Yes.
I just have really high expectations at this point for the show because of what I know that what Marvel can do and what they have done, like with Endgame and like all the other stuff that they've done. So it's
Though Endgame was a bit disappointing for me, to be honest. I mean, it was not, well, it wasn't nice. I actually cried when Black Widow. But
I'm fallen.
Even this grown ass man next to me, he was like, and I was like, okay, I'm not alone. But to me, whenever I want to watch Endgame, I usually just skip to the last hour. That's it, because I just want to see the fight. That's it. When are you gonna start painting? Well, I draw every now and then, but that's really it. I don't know, because I made this really bad Miss Marvel. It was based on that cover. I don't know if I have it here. Ooh. But I did post it once on the Instagram. I don't know if I put it in here though. Just I have to really work more on shading. And
that's really good.
I did the hair completely wrong. But yeah.
That's good though.
I like to get better. Well, thank you. I have to get better at it, especially the hair, because I messed up the hair. Because at first I did it everything in black and white, but that was boring to me. So
yeah. Drawing hair, I think, is difficult. Just drawing people in general, I think.
Yeah, true. And then, I tried to recreate Witchblade, but that was a bit of a mess. It was a sketch, and I was just not happy with it. Other than that, it's just... I just have my moments, really, that something just works out, and then that's it. I'm just like, man, I'm not feeling it. But at least I try. All right, we'll see you in the after show, Robert. Your son will only draw cats and Italian flag. No, actually, I only draw hearts with I Love Hag in it, right? Wow, newbie, you're here. Thanks for joining. What is the honor?
Hi, newbie.
Just quit drawing. Okay, we'll do that. I guess that's it. Oh shit! I keep on being solo. The Gmail, you want to jump in or you want to stay only for the after show?
Hi, love. How are you? You guys rocked it. You rocked it. You rocked it. You rocked it. You rocked it. Because if you really look at the show, hi, love. How are you? You guys rocked it. You rocked it.
In case we get
always
all of them.
something.
Yeah.
You guys were fantastic, by the way, and you couldn't have said it any better. Plus, also, if you look at this, it was more kind of a review of what we're going through already. We're seeing the inside, which is fantastic. So you guys are beautiful. You guys run it. And Shani, your art, put that back up again. Fantastic, girl. Put that Wanda Witch. I love the Wanda Witch. Sandy, I want to see some of your work. I've never knew that. You never told me about that. What, are you keeping secrets from me? You're keeping secrets from me. I want to see your artwork.
I posted this on Instagram.
That's beautiful.
Before.
You did a really, really nice job.
It really is good, Danny.
It's excellent. Both of you guys. I love the way you got the flames. That's awesome. It's awesome.
Thank you.
So beautifully well said. Couldn't have said it any better. I can't wait till the next episode. I'm really looking forward, hoping more and more and more, because there's so much. We have so much unknown, which is, you know, I have notes like crazy, but yeah, like
who knows?
It's full.
Oh wow!
Good stuff, guys. I'll wait in the background, honey.
Okay.
Oh crap. Well, fuck it. I'm gonna end it because I don't know.
I see Hack's comment. Sorry, Hack. They're good. They do really good. Being creative has something to do with it. That's awesome. Good job, Sharon.
Yeah. Thanks
Good
for the
job,
love,
ladies.
Hack. That's romantic.
Till next Saturday.
All right. So it was a short stream, but once again, we've been through everything. I have an early shift tomorrow, so hopefully see you guys next week. And Gabby will Twitch probably on Monday.
Yeah.
Tonight we have the G-Man show.
Really quick, can I say something, Sonny? Fantastic girl. If you guys haven't watched her recent show about Invisible Woman, there's some things I did not even know about it. Go check her out. Please go check her out because it was awesome. I have issue 280, by the way, and 281, 282, all the way up. I know that run you were talking about. That was fantastic. Yeah. Go please check out her show. It's excellent. Shani, thank you so much, love.
Thank you.
And yeah, midnight. Got a special. We got a guest tonight. It's in the links. Thank you very much, love.
All right.
I will.
All right, guys. So, yeah, see you next week. I don't know what else is coming up. I don't know. Whatever happens. So, you want to add something, Robert?
If anybody hasn't seen that little tidbit with, we're waiting. I know you ladies are waiting. I'm waiting for it. Where they're flying up in the air and it looks like they're going to fight.
Yes, that is one of the expectations I have for the series because I'm pretty sure Vision will.
But did you guys actually catch that where she's actually? So we've been kind of talking about that, about her own reality and what's going on, and she's controlling everything in her own reality. But notice when you look at Vision, and she sees him when he died, you know, that flashback. She's getting these little tidbits of flashbacks and memory coming back to her. You know, it's like she's just putting this wall up. Exciting times coming. 25 million an episode, you guys. Come on. They're going to drop some fire in this. You know it's coming.
Yeah. Especially in that one trailer, I think, for next week where you see Vision questioning, like, what is outside of Westview. So,
because notice how he hesitates.
Always.
Yeah. It's like, oh. All right, guys. I'll wait. Good stuff. Good stuff. You guys were awesome.
All right. So thank you, everyone, for showing up. And
see you next week.
Yes.